Dudes, because I box so well, they think they can just come in and bully me because I move so well.
Hey, what's up? This is Antonio. Welcome back to my channel. Now, who's ready for some fighting words? In this video, I want to do a fight breakdown for Jai Opetaia versus Hüseyin Cinkara. Really quick, if you like the videos, please take the time right now, subscribe to the channel. There's so much going on in the sport of boxing. I want to be the guy who gives you the news. So how I do a fight breakdown? I put both guys side by side, run down a list of attributes. Whoever has more points in the end, that's the individual that I'm going to pick to win the fight. So let's start this thing off. We're going to start off with power. Who's got more power? Well, we have Cinkara with 22 wins, 18 victories coming by way of knockout, and we have 0 losses, while we have Jai Opetaia, 26 wins, 20 knockouts, 0 losses. So they're not really far from each other, but I'm still going to go with Jai Opetaia. You want to know why? I'll tell you why. And this will, as I always say, be a reoccurring trend throughout this entire fight breakdown. Cinkara has fought every tomato can in the world, or at least his part of the world. He's fought every bus driver, every school teacher, every substitute teacher. He's fought them. And some of these guys, there's literally a guy on his record who has 20 losses and 5 wins. So, yeah, it's easy to knock that guy out. Like, honestly, his record says 22 wins. He should have, says 22 wins, and it has 18, he has 18 knockouts. He should have 22 knockouts fighting these guys. I mean, their chins are clearly made of porcelain. So, yeah, clearly going with Jai Opetaia, okay? Clearly going with Jai Opetaia. Cinkara doesn't have just one individual on his box rec that is least unblemished. Just 0 losses. I don't care if you're 1-0. Just 0 losses. He doesn't have that with not one individual. While you look at Jai Opetaia, he's got that. He's got that with a few people. He's got that. I'm going with Jai Opetaia when it comes to power. Because when I look at Cinkara, yes, you're getting guys out of there, but you're getting guys out of there who are not even the C League. These dudes are literally the D League. So, Jai Opetaia when it comes to power. Boxing IQ, again, Jai Opetaia. I just said he's fought every tomato can in his part of the world. Literally, every tomato can in his part of the world. Gotta go with Jai Opetaia. Why? Because he's fought better opposition. Why? Because a lot of his opposition, or some of his opposition, like I say all, but some of his opposition have been undefeated up until the point in which they met Jai Opetaia. While I look at Cinkara, you know, he's pacing himself with tomato cans. Like, one guy had like 28 losses and like 10 wins or something like that. You don't need to pace yourself with that guy. No, you put a timer on. You tell your team, hey, I want pizza. By the time the pizza gets here, I should be able to knock this guy out. That's what it is. He's fighting tomato cans. He has fought tomato cans. And anybody who's delusional enough to think this guy's going to give Jai Opetaia a run for his money is clearly on some stuff. Whatever the stuff that Ryan Garcia is using, that's the stuff that person is on. Do not bet on that. Let's see, speed. Cinkara is not particularly fast at all. He's very rangy. He does understand his body type. He does understand that he has long limbs, and he's great at distance. And he kind of just like, he leaves his arms out there. So it's more of just twisting the punch as opposed to popping the punch. While you look at Jai Opetaia, he's fast hands, he has fast feet, he has fast combinations. Like, he's circling around, he can fight backing up. He's just overall fast. You got to go with Jai Opetaia when it comes to speed. Defense, who has a better defense? Cinkara doesn't really have a defense. Mostly because you're fighting tomato cans. You don't need a defense when you're fighting tomato cans. Listen, if I fight little Manny Pacquiao right here, since it's not alive and it's not breathing and it's not the real Manny Pacquiao, it's not going to be that difficult for me to take him out. Or mini Mike Tyson over here. Not going to be that difficult. Same thing with Cinkara. I'm sorry. When you're beating up guys like that, I don't even you're not far from like the Jake Paul world to me. That's how I view you. I look at Jai Opetaia. He's taking out real threats. Guys who could take him out. Like, real threats. And you got to respect that. You got to respect that. I mean, he fought Jack Massey. I'm not saying Jack Massey is like some phenomenon in the ring. I'm not saying that. but he's an intelligent guy in the ring. He knows what he's doing in the ring, and he knows his lane. He's a slugger, and he's going to be there. He's a boxer slugger. He's going to be there, and he's extremely durable. I look at Cinkara. I mean, like I said, you're beating tomato cans. You know, you're beating my second-grade substitute teacher. So I don't really know how great you are, to be honest with you. But I do like his technique. I'll give him that, at least with straight punches. I do like his technique. But overall, I don't see much else when it comes to his legs or anything. But we're going to get into that. Mental toughness. Who's more mentally tough? Is it Hüseyin Cinkara? I hope I'm not murdering this guy's name. I just can't pronounce it, to be honest with you. But I'm trying my best, all right? Not like you, Inoue fans who get at me all the time. I'm trying my best. Let's see. Mental toughness. Who's more mentally tough? You got to go with Jai Opetaia. He's the champ. You got to go with Jai Opetaia because he's calling out the guys. He called out Artur Beterbiev. He called out Dimitri Bivol. He wants all the guys. He wants all the smoke. He doesn't mind. He wants all these guys. And he's called out people with undefeated records. That means something. So mental toughness. I mean, I suppose we can make an argument for Cinkara because, I mean, he's never lost. Yeah, but Manny Pacquiao. So, yeah, you never lost. And at the same time, he's reaching for gold. I got to respect that. I do respect that. You're trying to climb the ladder. I do respect that. But look at who he's fought. Look at who he's fought. Nothing comparable. Bodywork. Who's a better body puncher? Neither one of these guys are a sustained body puncher or anything like that, so I'll just give it a tie. I mean, they will go to the body, but like I said, Cinkara, he fights really tall, leaves his arms out there, and he's just kind of pop, pop, pop. He has a very heavy hands. So he's not going to the body. I mean, he could because, again, he fought Manny Pacquiao. So he definitely could go to the body if he would have chosen to in his past fights, but he just doesn't do it. While you look at Jai Opetaia, he moves a lot. In order for you to have like a sustained body attack, you have to actually plant your feet and be committed to the body attack. And that's just not the way he fights. It's not to say that he can't do it. It's not to say that he hasn't done it, but that's not his bread and butter. And listen, when you're as skilled as he is and you can move at his size for as long as he can move for 12 rounds, you don't have to do it. There will come a day and time in which case you're going to be forced to do something. But if it isn't today, listen, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Range. Who's better at range? I think they're a tie at range. Both of them, I think that's their bread and butter. Yeah, both of them, that's their bread and butter. Just range. You know, they're tall guys. They have long arms. Range. I think, well, I could make an argument that Jai's better just simply because of his footwork and, you know, he can really get out of range, but also he can really cover a lot of ground if he wants to get back in range in a short amount of time. Seconds talking. But Cinkara, like I said, all his knockouts, you can see he's not a guy who's going to fight you up close in a telephone booth, get it in. No, he's going to be at range. So I got to give it a tie. Adaptability. Who's more adaptable? Jai Opetaia. He's fought sluggers. He's fought boxers. He's fought heavy-handed individuals. He's fought point fighters, you know. So Jai Opetaia, I think he's, you know, you don't have to adapt when you're fighting taxi drivers. You don't have to adapt. You just show up. You just literally show up. You show him the edge of the cliff, and at some point, he will jump. All you have to do is apply enough pressure. He will jump. Got to give it to Jai Opetaia. Durability. I'm going with Jai Opetaia. I'm not saying that Cinkara is not a durable guy. I don't know because look who you've been facing. So I really don't know. I can't say that with Jai Opetaia because a lot of it, like Jack Massey, that dude's a heavy-handed guy. That dude could get you out of there. That dude can put you in some serious situations in the ring and finish you and hurt you permanently for life. You know, he's a big dude, not to mention he used to fight at heavyweight. And he couldn't do anything with Jai Opetaia. I mean, he couldn't touch him either. But he couldn't do anything with Jai Opetaia. Got to give durability to Jai Opetaia if he can take his punches. Cardio. Jai Opetaia. He can do this all 12 rounds. Now, one thing I haven't mentioned when I talk about Cinkara is he's like, what, 39 or 38 or 39? You know, in boxing years, he's an old man. You know, he's not quite Jake Paul ready, but he's on the radar of Jake Paul at this stage, you know, because of his age. And yeah, and I think that's another reason why he fights at range. I think that's another reason why he's not trying to get into a street fight and be in a telephone booth fighting anybody, because you want longevity. And the best way to do that is if I just stay on the outside and I pop you and you're not able to pop me back. That's the safest thing to do. Sure, you can go 12 rounds or whatever with, again, tomato cans. I can't, and it's not that I'm trying to be harsh. It's just that if that's what you've been facing, I'll leave it at that. Danger. Who's more dangerous? Well, on paper, it looks like both of these guys are dangerous, but one of these guys are starching Manny Pacquiao, while the other guy is actually starching dangerous fighters. So who's more dangerous? I'm going to go with Jai Opetaia. I think he's a lot more dangerous. I think he's a smarter fighter. I think he's a more mobile fighter. I think he's a more adaptable fighter. I think he's a fighter who has more weapons in his arsenal. And I think he has the confidence of fighting individuals who have never lost and have conquered them. And because of that, I would say he's 10 times more dangerous. I think this fight's going to be a shutout. If this fight goes 8 rounds, I'm impressed with Cinkara's chin, because I know his chin's going to get tapped up. But I don't see it going 8 rounds, to be honest with you. I see Jai Opetaia starching this dude. I don't see anything particularly special about Cinkara. I don't think he does anything special. Yeah, it looks like he's a heavy-handed power puncher on paper, but that's just on paper. Like I said, guy literally has 20 losses and 5 wins. You know what I mean? At my size, I'm a lot smaller than this guy, but at my size, I could probably beat all those guys. If that's the case, so that's not saying anything. I have Jai Opetaia for the win. Drop your thoughts down below.